Alright, it is time to review the second Steven Spielberg 4K release of the week. Let's just hope it's better than the first. What is going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love 4K movies and physical media in general, then rest assured you are in the right place. And without further ado, let's review the new 4K disc of Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Now, before I jump into this review today, if you love movies and movie reviews, then definitely check out my main channel where I review a lot of the latest in film and television. Link to that in the description in addition to my socials where you can also follow me. Now, with that out of the way, let's review the new 4K disc of Catch Me If You Can. Now, Catch Me If You Can is just one of my favorite films of all time, full stop. I have watched this movie countless times. I grew up watching it, and it's definitely one of my favorite Spielberg films. It's probably in the top 3. Some days it actually even is my favorite. It's just a really fun, breezy, really well-made movie with two of my favorite performances from Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, and this is like Spielberg just on cruise control in the best way possible. And this movie has been on my 4K wish list for a long time, like with Minority Report, which also hit 4K disc this week, and I was really excited to check this one out. Now, this movie comes to us, this 4K disc rather, comes to us in 4K Dolby Vision. We don't get a Dolby Atmos upgrade or anything like that. We have our 5.1 track, which honestly, don't have a problem with. This isn't exactly a movie that I feel needed an Atmos track, so that wasn't really an issue for me here, but I really wanted to see how this is going to look in 4K and in Dolby Vision to see this movie pop the way I feel like it really always should have. Now, I decided to go with the slipcover edition of this movie because, like with some of the previous reviews I've been putting out lately, I just didn't really like the artwork for the steelbook. It just looked kind of cheesy to me. But anyway, in this edition, you have your slipcover, and then inside you've got your Blu-ray disc, and you've got your 4K disc, and you've got your digital code. So pretty standard stuff, very similar to Minority Report minus the Blu-ray disc. Now, this disc comes to us in Dolby Vision, and I think from the opening scene alone where, Carl is visiting Frank in this prison, I feel like immediately it jumps out as a 4K disc. The blacks are deeper, the image looks more three-dimensional, the clarity is, way better than it was on the Blu-ray disc, and it just immediately stood out to me. The thing is that a lot of what follows that scene doesn't look nearly as good. Now, this is another film in Spielberg's longtime collaboration with cinematographer Janusz Kaminski, and it definitely has a very dreamlike visual aesthetic, which I think works for the story, especially as it tells, a lot of the early days of Frank kind of learning the con trade and being all these different people. I feel like it kind of works for the story and, the world that Spielberg is creating here. The problem is, on the whole, this looks okay. And I hate being that guy, but I've been wanting this in 4K for so long, and I just feel like this, again, like Minority Report, could have looked so much better. And I just feel like Paramount in general, very hit or miss releases, but most of their releases honestly are very lackluster to me. I just feel like they're not putting in the work in order to make these movies look and sound the way that they should. And I just feel like, again, this is on display here, even though this is one of their better discs, I'll say. I think the real standout in terms of the video for me is the color. The colors look so much more vibrant than they have on any other release, and it's really apparent whenever, Frank is posing as a pilot or we're in a more exotic location. The colors, the greens, the blues, they really pop here, and that Dolby Vision does wonders for this transfer, and I think it's absolutely the main reason to get an upgrade of this movie. But don't get me wrong, there are some standout moments on this disc where the blacks are super deep, or there's a nice bit of clarity and detail in a close-up, but again, these moments are very few and far between. This is not a consistently good disc, and it's just a bummer, man. Like, I love this movie so much, and it sucks that the best thing I could say about it is that the colors look good. I wanted to just wax poetic about how much I love this transfer, but here we are. Now, in terms of the audio, we get a 5.1 track here, and again, I don't think this movie needs an Atmos track. It's unnecessary, and I think this mix is good. I think it was probably from the previous Blu-ray. I'm assuming it was just kind of carried over, and I have no issues with it. I think the clarity of the dialogue is nice, it's warm, it's present. I think the surrounds are used pretty dang well, especially when, for atmospherics, especially when, Frank is in an airport or a busy bank. It kind of feels very enveloping, and I enjoyed that. But overall, though, I think this 4K of Catch Me If You Can, I think if you're a fan of this movie, if this goes on sale in 4K, definitely pick it up. It's worth picking up for that Dolby Vision. It really pops in terms of the color and the way that I always wanted it to. I just wish that the detail came along with it. I don't mind film grain, especially when it's resolved well, and I think it is here. I mean, this is a grainy picture, but not in a way that's ugly to me. I just wish the clarity came with it, because the two aren't mutually exclusive. You can still maintain film grain while also delivering that boost in clarity that you want as a physical media collector. It's just a shame that they couldn't give us both here. So that's my take on this new 4K disc. Let me know what you thought of it if you've checked out this new 4K transfer. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? And if you're on the fence about picking this one up, do you feel like you're going to buy it now? Let me know down below. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattelbash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.